Happy New Year's, everyone. This is Kova here with another video on Alice Fiction. We're going to be focusing on the New Year's events for this video, specifically the challenge quest called New Year Quest First Shrine Visit. And here as my lobby unit, I have Agent Ace, who is our new unit, our first Alice Fest unit, who is also our first dual type unit with both the buff and attack type. So this is really important because Agent Ace is, in my opinion, crucial to beat the 4th stage of the challenge quest. So let's get into what these challenge quests are. So we have 4 stages here and they're all boss stages. For the first 3 stages, if you click on any of them, you'll notice that the first clear reward, so if you get it with clear it with 1 star or 2 stars, you'll get 100 quartz. So there's 300 quartz up for grabs in the first 3 stages if you beat all of them. And then if you notice that if you get a 3-star clear, they give you a medal. Okay, and so each one of these stages has a medal attached to it for clearing it with 3 stars. And then the 4th stage here has no quartz attached to it. Both the first clear and the 3-star clear give different medals. And so what are these medals? They're going to be used to exchange for titles, which can be equipped to your profile and add a flare when you chat. And so they're just, they don't give you any benefits in terms of gameplay, but it's just a way to show off and say, hey, I beat this really hard challenge. So that's what this is. The first 3 stages, pretty easy to clear as long as you have built standard Team Hunt comps. So anything that is based around Lancelot, Musashi, or special attack teams such as Wayne, Cleo, Ross, and Dreamy Sen and Hannibal, those teams will be able to clear these first 3 stages perfectly fine. The hard stage, however, here is the 4th stage, and this one took me hours to figure out how to do and just repeating it over and over again. So that's why I'm making this video, so that hopefully I can share with you 2 strategies that you can use to clear the 4th stage. So the first strategy I'll talk about will give you a 1-star clear, and it is a minimal investment comp. It is what I call the curse side comp. So it's a curse suicide comp, right? The second strategy would be a 3-star clear, and it is based around Agent Ace. Now there are other methods to beat stage 4, and I've seen people post them, but they're all very, very high investments. Okay, so like you probably want really limited world memories that you can only get from pulling, and maybe MLB as well. So those are comps that I think are viable if you spend a lot. But otherwise, I think the Agent Ace team is also high investment, but it's a little bit more accessible. And don't worry, if you guys don't have a well-built Agent Ace with a good world memory on it, go and find someone who does, friend them, and borrow their unit as a support. So don't forget, you can borrow a support unit, and you will still get a 3-star clear using a support unit for these challenge stages, which is completely different from our normal campaign mode, where if you borrow a support unit, you can't get that 3-star. Alright, so let's talk about why this 4th stage is so hard, and it's because we have a boss called Happy, who is also our event boss right now. But there's very unique mechanics to this stage that make it difficult to pass. So I'm just going to do a quick run through them, and then I'll show you my 2 comps, and I'll have the demo videos at the end. For the 3-star clear, I've actually already uploaded that comp and a demo of me playing through it. It's not voiced, so you can take a look at that. I'll add a link to that video in the description below. Alright, so let's get to the special mechanics for this stage. So first thing you will notice here is that we shortened the panel breaking phase by 3 seconds. So you have 3 seconds less than usual to complete your panelings. And this makes it really hard because there's another special mechanic which I'll explain later. Then Happy second mechanic here is that every single turn, Happy will do a strong physical attack against a certain unit type. And he will do it in order from debuff, defense, attack, buff, then recovery. So those 5 unit types. And what happens if you don't have one of those types in that turn? So if someone dies for some reason, or you just don't have that 5th unit type in your team, then Happy will make an AoE physical attack on everybody. So that usually pretty much ends your run, unless you have MLB World Memories that are top tier. And then maybe you might be able to get away with it. But this is for this reason, because we have to have those 5 types during our whole entire matchup. That is why we need to have Agent Ace, or Agent Ace will make your life a lot easier, because she can swap from the buff mode to attack mode. So she can cover 2 types, and then with your other 3 units, you can cover the remaining 3 types. And so that's why we use Agent Ace here. And then the last effect here doesn't really make sense when I read it. It says, turns before being attacked 7 times makes an additional physical attack on a random enemy. So from my teammates testing, we found out that Happy will make an extra attack if 8 attacks are not made. And how do you get 8 attacks per turn? You need to crash every single unit. So if every single unit crashes, they do a normal attack and they do their crash attack, so that's 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, and then Happy will not do that extra attack. And so it's really important for us to crash every single turn for all 4 units, because if we get that extra attack, your run will probably end because Happy will probably take out one of your units. And you can't get a 3-star anymore if any of your units die. So that's why the first condition of shorten panel breaking phase by 3 seconds is very detrimental and makes it incredibly difficult to beat this stage with a 3-star clear. But let's talk about the 2 comps now. So the first one is a minimal investment one where you can get a 1-star easy peasy. So this is what I call the curse side strategy, and the main unit here is going to be Kanru's side. So I'm going to show you my team if I can find it here. Yep, so team 8 for me is curse side. The key unit here is Kanru side, who you should probably have at a reasonable level. I think anything over 70 is probably fine. You might even be able to do it at a lower level. The reason we want her level to be high is because we need Kanru's side to proc her curse skill, and the higher her level is, the more likely she is able to land her curse on Happy. So there's a 70% chance of landing the curse. And then on top of that, Happy has status of normality resist. So that's why if your Kanru side is higher level, you're probably more likely to land that curse. So the curse allows us to reflect 65% of the damage Happy deals to our team back at Happy. So what we're going to be trying to do here is we're going to be triggering Happy's AoE attack by using the second condition mechanic that we mentioned earlier, where we need to have those 5 unit types. We're going to skip one of those unit types, and the second unit type is defense. So we're not going to have defense in our team, and we're just going to let Happy do an AoE attack on our team on turn 2. So that gives us a turn to land our curse, and then we're just going to reflect all the damage back to Happy to instantly kill him. So when I did this, my Genji here, which is my 4th character here, was level 1, and I calculated it afterwards looking at the video, and I just barely did enough reflect damage to kill Happy in that one turn. So because Genji is now level 15, I probably won't be able to clear it in one go. And so that's why my recommendation is, if you don't have 3 level 1 units, because you need to have low physical defense units, right? So you can sort your units by physical defense here. And my recommendation is that, you just want the lowest physical defense units. So if they have less than 300 defense, you'll probably be fine. In fact, if you have 3 units with less than 500 defense, you'll probably still be okay. The reason is because you have your backup units to clean up. So because we're only trying to get a 1-star clear with this comp, as long as you have a strong backline, you can deal enough damage to Happy to finish or clean up the match. So another consideration here is that you should you can also use 2 additional weak or low physical defense units here in your backup slots, and that will allow Happy to overflow on damage on Curse in the second turn, because Curse lasts for 3 turns. And if you don't have Kanrusai for some reason, then this strategy won't work, but again, you can borrow a unit, right? And if you do have Kanrusai but you don't have enough level 1 units or really weak physical defense units, you can also try to find somebody or ask somebody to put a level 1 or weak physical defense unit for you to borrow as a support, and that would also work. But for me, I am going to attempt to clean it up using my backup slots. So I'll be using Gawain and AA to try to deal as much damage as possible after Curse. So I don't know if this is actually going to work or not, because Curse requires multiple retries. So I'm probably just going to retry this a lot of times, and if it works the first time, great. If it doesn't, then I'll just cut this all out and only have the part where it works. So an auto on, turn it off. So the first turn, Happy hit my debuff unit. So that's the roll there. So now let's see if I can make this. Curse did not land. We only got the special defense down. So let me redo it. And I'm going to be cutting all of this out, hopefully. Alright, so Happy here is hitting Kanrusai again. Let's see if we can pop the Curse, and Curse worked. Perfect. Second try. Alright, so now you can either try to do as much damage as possible by paneling, or you can just let it go. I'm just going to spam balance. With low level units, you're probably not going to deal that much damage, just a little bit of damage. But every little bit helps. So if your Genji is level, or if all 3 of your units are level 1, then this will do enough damage. So now you can see that because Genji was level 15, I have 230k left over. And I actually did this same exact thing yesterday when Genji was level 9 and 150k left over. So now I need to try to clean up with AA and Gawain. And also, if you note, the Curse is still active on Happy. So we still got a little bit of additional Curse damage from that. So I'm just gonna pop all of AA skills here, then use Gawain to buff AA. And then we should be able to easily do enough damage with this setup. Okay, so easily we did 400,000 damage, and I wasn't really trying hard. Do know if you mess up and it doesn't work, you can always reset your turn in the middle of paneling. So as long as the animation for attacking is not complete, you can reset your turn by force closing your app. So you just swipe up on the app and you force close it, and then you redo your turn when it opens up again. And you can do this an unlimited number of times. Normally in Arena or other modes, you can only do it 3 times before it automatically forfeits your attempt. But with these challenge quests, you can actually do it as many times as you want. So now I am going to show you the 3-star comp, which is focused on AA. And I'm just going to give a brief overview of this, and I'm not actually going to demonstrate it because for that you can just watch the demo video, and that will be in the link below. So for this comp, the main focus, the key unit here is going to be Agent Ace. So you want her to be as high level as possible, you know, and max ascended, right? If possible, because with this current setup that you see before you, it's possible to clear it. So all of these world memories are actually were actually all made available for free, right? They're welfare world memories. They're given to everybody. Okay, so Sing and Dance, which is equipped to Gawain, boosts her buffs, and Pray for Peace, which is on Kenshin, that was also given for free, or not for free. Well, we got one copy in the mail, and then we had the event gachas where we got currency just for spending stamina, right? So most people probably have Sing and Dance and Pray for Peace in their accounts. And as you can see, my Pray for Peace isn't even MLB. It's not max limit broken. Then this Minato's Gift was also given for free a few events back. And this one is pretty valuable because it reduces the panel, or not reduces, it increases the amount of time we have to break panels by 1.3 seconds. And on top of that, it also gives defensive stats and reduced damage to light touch by 18.9%. There is another world memory you can consider using other than this. If your Nightingale is built, so, you know, 3-star over level 80, I think if she's 2-star and she's over level 80, she would still be able to survive a hit from Happy if you have a level 60 world memory for Minato's Gift, or the alternative is First Friend. So both of these world memories increase panel breaking phase time. So First Friend, at 1 UB, it increases panel breaking phase by 0.6 seconds every single time an active skill is used. And Nightingale skill 1, which is a heal, is usable every single turn, and we will be using it every single turn to recover damage dealt from Happy. So this will be a great world memory for her, and it will allow you to have extra time every single turn to do your paneling. And this is really important because, let me tell you, I had to retry many times for every single turn in order to crash all 4 skills and do enough damage, right? So, you know, you want that extra time if possible. So those are your 2 options for world memories for Nightingale. For Gawain, you can use Sing and Dance, which is, I expect most people have that. You should have that if you are an active player. The other option here would be Beloved Hero. And if you have a MLB Beloved Hero, it's actually better than Sing and Dance, right? If you only have a 0 UB Beloved Hero, you can still use it, but the buff effect is not as good. But it will allow Gawain to survive a hit without using Kenshin's defense buff on Gawain. So that's why we're using Kenshin, because Gawain cannot survive without Beloved Hero, without Kenshin's defense buff. So the next unit here is Kenshin. I've seen people use Benkei as well. And for Benkei, you have to rely on RNG in order to proc taunt. So I don't really like to use that, and I prefer to use Kenshin instead. Kenshin here is just being used as a stat stick for her HP as well as her defensive buffs. So that's why we're using Pray for Peace, because it increases the HP of Kenshin as well as gives that HP recovery. So it helps her to survive. The HP is important because AA's skills relies on stealing HP or taking away HP from an allied unit to debuff her enemy. So that's why we're using Kenshin, who has a high HP and also has 2 skills, skill 1 and skill 2 both give defensive buffs, which we'll be using on AA and Gawain in order to help them survive the hits when it's Happy's turn to hit them. So that's why we use Kenshin. The other alternative is to use Benkei, but you need to proc bind on Benkei in order to protect AA and Gawain. So personally, I prefer to use Kenshin. For Gawain slot, instead of using Gawain, if you don't have Gawain for some reason and you can't borrow her because you're borrowing AA or another unit, the other alternative would be to use, I've seen somebody use Summer New, so that's an option, but it will be harder to achieve a 3-star clear with Summer New. And then of course the last unit is Agent Ace. We're using Close Competition, which is probably the best free-to-play world memory for physical units. Now, what is better than Close Competition would be a Undercover Investigation. That's an alternative. And then a better alternative would be The Girl and the Monster. So I borrowed this, but it basically goes Light Slayer up to 75% and about 26% additional physical attack. So this is really good world memory. If you use The Girl and the Monster and its MLB on AA, you will easily clear this stage within like 5 turns. If you have good paneling skills, which I don't. I took 7 turns, but my last turn I did 950,000 damage. And Happy has about 2.4 million HP, or almost 2.5 million HP. With this current setup that I have, which is using all free world memories, or free-to-play world memories that were given in events, you need to be able to get skill level or skill panel level, crash skill levels 1.7 or 2 on AA in order to make sure that you're dealing at least 600,000 damage for turns 1 and 2 where all the buffs are active. And then when you recycle over again, all the skills are up again for turns 6 and 7. You activate all those skills again, and then you need to do another 1.1 million to 1.2 million there, and that would basically allow you to clear. So the ideal situation is you do 600k damage turn 1, 2, 6, and 7. In between turns 3 to 5, you can do maybe about 200,000 damage. I think the most I've personally done in turns 3 to 5 is about 80 something thousand damage per turn. So that's about 240,000 damage. So if you do 550 to 600k damage for the first 2 turns, that should get you close enough to clearing this stage. But again, you need to have 1.7 to 2x skill panel for AA, and then if you can do that, then you will be able to clear this with 3 stars using this setup. If you have better world memories than me, or if you borrow somebody's AA with The Girl and the Monster MLB, or maybe even Undercover Investigation MLB, or above 2 UB, then you will have a very easy time to clear this stage. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this video here.